outcries continue over the death of George Floyd. Last night, people protesting in
Stop
Minneapolis
letting people talk you out of your power.
How we build a movement that allows us to respond to all the names that people don't know.
People begin to think it's isolated. That's the problem. We're not angry enough.
This is Life After the Impact, a podcast for impacted families by impacted families that focuses on what happens after the media, the lawyers, and the activists are gone.
When the cameras are gone, people leave. We have to be there for each other.
Impacted families are left to face the loss of a loved one to police-sponsored violence. We will focus on their continued fight for justice and how you can get involved.
I tell families, fight.
Everybody can do something, that you don't have to sit home and feel helpless and hopeless.
We gotta stop allowing people to talk us out of our power. That's the main thing.
Can't change overnight, but we gotta start somewhere. Might as well go ahead, start here. We didn't.
Good evening. We are live. My name is Roxanne Johnson. My son's name is Jamal Bird. He was killed on October 1st, 2019. This is Life After the Impact. Here's my lovely host this evening, Latoya. How you doing, Latoya?
Hey, good evening, you guys. My name is Latoya Benton, and I am the mother of Xavier Hill. Xavier was killed at the tender age of 18, January 9, 2021, by two Virginia State troopers. Tonight, we are joined by the beautiful Kittling twins. You guys want to, Lurlean, I'm going to do it. Give an introduction of yourself. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, hello, everybody. My name is Lurlean Kittling Hudson. I'm the twin, baby twin to Derrick Kittling. And I will pass it to Werlean.
Hi, I'm Werlean Kittling, Lurlean's twin, the sister of Derrick Kittling.
Nice to meet y'all. Sorry to meet you on such sad circumstances. Tell us a little bit about what happened with your brother, Derrick.
Sure. Thank y'all so much for having us. So basically, my brother, Derrick Jermaine Kittling, was murdered by Rapides Parish Sheriff's Officer Rodney Colt Anderson on November the 6th, 2022. My brother died not even knowing why he was even pulled over for the traffic stop.
So this was a traffic stop that turned deadly.
Yes, ma'am.
And just 2 years ago, the other day.
Yeah.
That's right. His anniversary was November the 6th. Yep.
Again, we're so sorry for your loss. So what after this incident with your son, your brother's losing his life to police violence, what happened afterwards?
So basically, from this whole particular incident, we have been requesting we've seen the redacted version of the incident and have been going back and forth with Tommy. Lurlean can tell you, I forgot his last name, with RPSO, trying to get the Tommy Carlisle with the Rapides Parish Sheriff Department, trying to get the unredacted version. And it seems like there was a lot of back and forth and not as upfront and willing to allow us to see the video as requested, even 2 years later. From the incident, our family has filed a civil lawsuit that is pending right now, so we can't speak on any legal terms or anything like that, but we are on the fight and the move for justice for our brother, and we have created a website, and it's standing One Voice for Justice, and where to get that, it is OVforjustice.com. That we set it up and kind of want to share some light on who Derrick really was as a person. And so we're just, like I say, on this fight for justice for him and trying to put some things into motion to basically commemorate him, because his birthday is coming up in January 19th to be exact.
So as far as the officers being indicted, were they indicted over in Parish, or how did that go?
Oh.
No, state police basically had took over the investigation and they turned it over to Rapides Parish Sheriff Department. And the sheriff, Mark Wood, and the what's his name? Lurlean, what's the guy's name? The DA, the district attorney, basically,
Phillip Terrell.
basically, yeah, Phillip Terrell. Thank you, Lur. Basically did a copycat letter statement, and the officer was never charged in my brother's murder.
Did they give you any reason why? I mean, because I was reading the narrative about, you know, this case, why they refused to even take it to a grand jury, or why they refused it. Did they give you any indication as to why?
No, they have not given us any indication. And from what we are told, from the whole situation, it was alleged that they stated that my brother, well, let me go back. According to the state police report, it stated that my brother resisted arrest. My brother was never under arrest, nor in the video that for the redacted version that we've seen, he wasn't even read his rights. So, and like I say, my brother died within 58 seconds of the traffic stop, not even knowing why he was even pulled over. It's just insane.
That's crazy. And how has the community been supportive of the situation since then? Have they been supportive of the situation as well?
Yeah. So
do you find yourself being in the situation of it's y'all's case, or does the community understand that this happened in the community, and granted it happened to your family, they're still affected as well?
I think we have a lot of community support, and in any case like this, you're gonna have people that are not on our side. They're gonna, see my brother as the aggressor in cases, especially when you're dealing with a police officer. But we have had a lot of community support, even from the first march that we did when Derrick was murdered in 2022. And Derrick was a very nice, loving individual, and always have helped anybody that he can, and even try to reach out, to the homeless and help them. So because of who he was, this is why we have a lot of community support on our side, and he had a lot of family and friends to kind of support us as well.
That's good. That's good. Well, because we asked that because sometimes you got cases where they don't have community support, right? And you got into the fact where the media is able to demonize somebody to a narrative where the community doesn't realize that this is their issue too, Right. So that being said, Roxanne, you normally the question about community support you want to ask up.
So my question is always, is there a way that we can garner community support to go back to that district attorney and find out why he refused to even take it to a grand jury? Because saying somebody resisted arrest, but you don't have the documentation to prove that, is absurd to me. And what we know about police encounters is that they create a crisis, then they solve the crises through violence every time. And them redacting the information that was given to you, to me, proves that they got something to hide.
Exactly.
And so how has the community been involved, or how do you want the community to be involved in this case to try to get some accountability for your brother? You can't, justice would be that never happened to him, but some accountability.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Laura.
Well, I just want to just kind of piggyback off of what she just said. How do we want the community support? Well, first of all, it starts with electing the right sheriff that's over Alexandria or Rapides Parish. The community have to get out and vote and express their voice that our ancestors fought for us to be able to go vote. That's how the sheriff office is in place, Mark Woods. So because we feel like Rodney could have been trained better, that's all under the leadership of the sheriff. So individuals have to be active at city council meetings, making sure that their voice is being heard, and not just on a one-time basis. You have to be consistent. So, this is a fight that we didn't ask to be involved in, but hey, we're here now. So being active in the community going to those meetings and just saying, hey, we want change. We want change for all, so that this will not happen to any other families, like how we're, feeling about it.
Now, this sheriff that you guys are dealing with, do you know he's up for re-election, and what is his name?
His name is Mark Woods.
Right. So again, there's different ways, like you just said, to apply pressure. Because again, we can stop him at that angle too as well. So maybe we can start a campaign just with that. You heard what she just said, you guys. If you're watching the podcast, please, Mel, I'm not sure you can pull that up for people to see who the current sheriff is, because sometimes we have a mindset of once they don't bring the indictments out, it's supposed to stop right there. But we have to become more creative. That's the current sheriff. This is the current sheriff, you guys?
Yes, that's him.
Yes, that's him.
So it's important to us to find out when he's up next for re-election and make sure he's not re-elected. Oftentimes they go unopposed, so then they're in seats for long periods of time and whatnot, and then the cops are not indicted on charges like this. So if y'all could please blow this number up, we'll make sure that we're going to screenshot this as well and put it on our page. There are always multiple ways you can get involved as far as fighting for justice. I think you wanted to answer what your sister's going to say as well.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you want to add something else to what your sister was saying?
I think she kind of summed it up, because that's where it's gonna start there with the voting, and that's why even on the website that we created for our brother, we have a link for that to help others. And this is new to our family, so having to exactly go through this ourselves, so we don't know all of the answers. We don't know the path of everything that we need to take. So if there's any resources that we can take from here, we would greatly appreciate it, because this is a long uphill battle, and we are ready to fight and going to continue to do so until we see justice for our brother. And true justice really is bringing our brother back, but we want to have some form of justice for him.
And if I can add, it's other families that was impacted under the leadership of Mark Woods. I want to say a couple of years before our brother incident, Mark Woods was actually a deputy, and he was a part of killing a young Black man by the name of Robert Ricks. So I don't know why he was voted as sheriff in this area, but you have somebody that participated in another death. The young man was tased to death with handcuffs in a cell.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say to a certain degree, we do know why. You just said that the community doesn't vote. So again, we have to be more so to an effect of when we see these kind of things are happening, we have to make sure that we don't get him in office again. Because even if he's voting and somebody's run, like in my son's case, the DA down there has run unopposed like the last 2 terms. So there's nothing we can do as far as that is, because he's running unopposed, right? So you said the answer, right? Mm-hmm. But another part of that has to go with educating the community. Everybody will go out and they'll vote on the presidential scale. When it comes to like the local mayor and sheriff and whatnot, they don't know who the hell it even is.
Right.
So I think that goes back to us as a community starting to foster these kind of conversations and make sure we are doing those things for our community. And y'all, again, keep in mind, you don't got to live in Parish. You don't have to live there when it's happened at. Y'all will get out here and will fly from one state way over here to D.C. to scream on a bullhorn, won't pick up your phone in your local living room and make a phone call. Mel, if you can, I'm not sure you got what you said the website was. Can you repeat it one more time? So you can put the website up.
It's OV, the number 4. Yes, that's it.
So you guys, you can check this website out as well to not only learn about the case and updates, but also ways you can get involved. It's really important. Oh, and again, there's their brother Derrick. Want to make sure that we always have a great picture to know who we're speaking about.
Yeah. What a pretty smile.
Yes.
Bright,
Yes. And we miss our brother.
bright light.
So again, you guys.
And that statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
That statement right there, what did I do? That's what he asked the Rodney, what did I do? And he proceeded to say, we'll get to that, you know, and made him try to make him put his hands behind his back while he steady asked, why was he even being pulled over to begin with? And he never knew. He was tased and then shot in the head.
And see, that's what I say again, when I ask the question, like, I understand you say the community is supportive of your family, right? And I understand that. But what if the community didn't know you guys, right? I feel like there has to be some kind of way where the community understands the connection beyond the families, right? I don't want to get pulled over and I'm asked what I do and y'all allow that to me. You know what I'm saying? So like we should be concerned about that regardless, whether you know the families or not. The shit is wrong.
Exactly.
So, that's, you know, so y'all, you're watching this podcast. We say it all the time. Don't just be watching, just be looking. Please take something from this podcast, whether you're talking about this family or another family, make the phone call. Make the phone call to help out and get involved for change.
That's right.
Each person listening lives in a community.
That's right.
You live in a town, you live in a county or a parish, you live in a state where they have these levels of legislators, and you need to get to know one of them. Make it your business to know, because just like these sisters are saying, you know, their brother 58 seconds and he was gone. It is nothing that can't happen to any one of us at any given time. Any given time. And until we stand up as a community, it's going to continue to happen. That's just the bottom line. It's not a training issue. These people, like, they are violent workers. That's what they do. They create violence. And until we who are paying for them to be violent against us make a determined effort and commit to doing something different, going to vote is just a minimum. Showing up at the damn county council meeting, because that's where the money is allocated for the sheriff's department.
Right.
Showing up is important. And like Latoya said, you'll stand in line. People will stand in line for a whole 2 days to get the new Nikes or whatever. And you wear them a couple times and now you need some new ones. But what about things that are going to affect your family for this generation and next, your children and your children's children? That's what we need to focus on. And stop being distracted by other things that don't matter.
Right.
Things that don't matter. So how can we support y'all? How can our listening audience support you guys going forward?
So I think Lurlean and I are planning a commemoration for our brother. We would ask that if anybody, we'll post on the website, and of course be in contact because we are trying to right now find a place for the commemoration of Derrick, so that we can start the process of putting our boots on the ground here in the state of Louisiana. So if everybody can come out, show their support, and if it's calling the sheriff department, you know, trying to get the redacted version, because the unredacted version out into the community, because we want the community to see what really did happen. Because a lot of times, like you said, that at the forefront, you know, they are so quick to demonize you know, victims of police violence so quickly, and then they hide their hands and give us the runaround and not let us see it and concoct a story, on behalf of the loved one. And I want to add to this as well, just, and I apologize if this is out of order, but even when my brother was murdered, if the cop was not being told that he was being watched, and it had a standby that was at the scene, and he was recording, and Rodney went in the back of his trunk to act as if he was going to put handcuffs on my brother as he was already dead. So you can see the plot of how it was trying to thicken had he not been watched.
Yep.
So
yeah, they set it up. Yep.
Yeah, he was finna set it up. And this is the first time I've ever seen the DA on the scene of a crime, here in the state of Louisiana. I've never seen that on the news anywhere, but for this particular day, he was on the scene with the officers.
Like I said, the community should kind of be like, that's a red flag, right?
Yep.
And so that has to be, something has to be, I like to often say, ain't nothing united about these damn states. We have this mindset of like, oh, it happens in separate states, right? And it's not true. These police brutality cases happen the same way in each state. The narratives are the exact same. I don't give a damn what news station you look at or read, the narratives are the exact same, right? And to the community, again, like we just takes notice of what's going on, either with the narrative, what you're going with your brother right now. You peep games to that possibility happening. But imagine it could have went the other way, right? The community has to still go through. We can vote. You can vote into office. You're not following through to make sure the policy is really put into place. What you voting for? What's the point?
Right.
So again, as the same way we still want to hold the police officers accountable, community, you have to hold yourselves accountable too, and stop getting offended. You can't get offended. Somebody's checking you and say, "Hey, listen, that's not this." We're making sure we are protecting each other. Don't get on the bullhorn saying we protect us, but you can't make a phone call to really do so. So again, I actually go onto the website, look it up. The family's asking for the redacted version of the videotape. They want transparency. The community should want transparency as well. If the twins are not sitting here, I don't know if they like the word the twins. I used to hate that crap, right? Don't call me the twins. But again, if they're wanting to have a redacted version, even outside of what the family wants, the community should still want to see transparency. Your tax dollars are paying for these exact same things. So again, we have to get beyond this word of us in this room as impacted families, and the culture of the community has to change when it comes to not just police reform, but how we see that in the future.
And I just want to add this, because you said, how can the community support? File a complaint with the decertification board so that Rodney cannot do this to anybody else, because he should not be allowed to be in their uniform.
That's right.
If they're not going to arrest him, decertify him so that he cannot work as a police officer.
Right.
But what he did, if he cannot follow protocol and training to de-escalate an incident, brother, he escalated it and never told our brother, okay, why you were pulled over. He doesn't need to be in office in a position where he's supposed to protect and serve. No, how are you serving? How are you protecting? So that's another way that the community can support, because they don't just take our complaint, they take everybody's complaint.
So that goes back to me say all the time, utilizing all the tools in the toolbox, right? Just because they say they're not going to indict an officer, all right, go ahead and go around this way. They say they'll close the door, we're going to jump over this way, right? They say they're going to do that, we're going to go over this way, right? It's about strategy. Right. But oftentimes people, when they get into that mindset of we're going to just do that one thing, nah, Roxanne, all I can say this is chess and not checkers.
Yeah, it's chess and not checkers. And the thing is, community, before we got bamboozled by this whole idea of integration, all we had was community. Some people old enough to remember that. I am certainly old enough to remember that. But we had a community that was a community that cared about each other. We have got to return to that, because community is our superpower. Do you hear me? Community is our superpower. we do keep each other safe, but we got to be about the business.
That's right.
So that other people don't harm us that are not a part of our community.
Right.
That's
People
right.
ain't even a part of our community. They come into our community, they become judge, jury, and executioner. And that is not right. That is not, and we have to fix that. It's our responsibility.
Our responsibility.
All of our, not just the 5 of us, 4 of us, 4 of us, but everybody's. Everybody. Yes, that's correct. Anything else that you want us to know? As we come to the conclusion of this podcast session.
No, I think that's for me. I think we kind of basically, summed it up. And like I say, we're just waiting to hear because even when, like I say, when we talked about the lawsuit aspect, the sheriff department have not even responded to that with an answer. So, so we are working with our attorney, Ron Haley, out of Baton Rouge in regards to that. So if everybody could just, like Lurlean was saying, is, write our legislature, the community attend the meetings, the city council meetings and file complaints everywhere in the state. I do have on the website as well from Louisiana State Police where the DOJ stepped in because our people of color were abused more than any other race within the state. So that is on the website for you all to check out as well.
Perfect. We definitely do so. You guys, so as always, like to say, the podcast is about, it's about action. We're not on this podcast just to be talking. I mean, it's great to meet, people, whatnot. But again, it's unfortunate, right? Each week, got somebody new who has to go through the same trauma that we're going through. So at some point in time, again, the community has to get involved. So with that being said, Mel, you want to start with the first, we have a few call to actions coming up within the next month or so for court support. Again, it's important we'll be on the bullhorn saying jail killer cops, but nobody goes to court. That don't make any sense. So, Mel, if you want to show the first flyer for court support, that'd be good. There we go. This case is coming up. Let's see, I'm on my glasses. I do got them on here.
On December the 2nd. The police officers who killed Herman Whitfield III is in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you're in that area, please show up for court support. Pack the court on December the 2nd in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And if you can show up, make sure you do share the flyer as well on Facebook and all social medias as well. The next date is going to be for November the 12th, coming up for Allen Police. I want to say this is going to be in New York. Yep. So again, if you are in the New York area, be sure to either share the flyer or just drop it to court. Some days you're going to stay all days, but it's important to show not just the family support, but again, the community should be involved in what's going on. We'll oftentimes talk about officers not getting indicted. When they do get indicted, we're not in court. So again, you can't actually show up to court. Please share the flyer. Mel, you can show the next one. Roxanne, you want to do that one?
Yep. Join us for court support to join the family of Jimmy Atkinson as they seek justice in the criminal trial against former Atlanta police officer Sung Kim, who has been indicted for murder. His case is starting November the 19th through the 21st. That's in Atlanta, Georgia at 75 Ted Turner Drive at the Richard Russell Federal Building. Please, if you family that's in Atlanta, Georgia, show up and support Jimmy Atchison and his family as they seek the criminal in not just a trial, but in that he get convicted of murder in this case. And when we pack the courtrooms, the people who are on the trying to get things done, they know that we're watching them.
Feel that pressure. That's right.
And so that applies some pressure. Yes. And then arrest Officer Robert Warrington. Officer Warrington here in Bowie, Maryland, where I live, was indicted by a grand jury and charged with attempted murder for firing his gun at a stranded motorist on a busy road. On December the 6th at 10 a.m., we will be in the Upper Marlboro, Maryland courtroom to make sure that this officer, I don't know if he's still, well, yeah, I do know he's on leave without pay. He should not be even in a capacity to be of still be an officer. He shot at endangered people, not just the stranded motorists, but people who were standing off to the side.
But it was hit.
Yeah, he just shot his gun at them. Like, you know, what the hell is this Rob? Anyway, so come and support on December the 6th at 10 a.m. Upper Marlboro, Maryland.
Yes, and I want to say too, a good game about that last Friday as well. You guys, no, you take that one down. That's fine. A lot of times, even if you don't know, you don't have to necessarily get in contact with the family to get involved in what's going on with your community. Again, we have to change the culture, you know, and getting back to going on within the community. People want to have their grandkids and stuff, but make sure you are the same safe environment you want to envision for your grandkids. You got to provide that because we're not living in that right now. So in order for it to be done, we have to provide that. So those are different ways in order to get involved, report support. Those you post to our website, as well as other ones, unfortunately, that will be coming up. But make sure you do stay involved. And last but not least, Mel, can you run the video too for donations? I forgot to mention that. But you have that? I'm sorry. I should have said it. Well, there it is. Okay. All right, so you guys saw that video too as well. That'll be on our page as well. So oftentimes we talk about court support, right? But me and Roxanne been talking this week too as well. What does that really look like? Even when it comes to getting a good defense, getting a good civil rights attorney who is going to actually, you know, take care of the family and actually help them and hold the officers responsible. We don't want, sometimes pro bono was cool too, but sometimes they won't take the case either. That's not mean the family does not have a right to still file for the case, right? We believe that everyone should be entitled still to fight for their loved one at some point of accountability. But guess what, you guys? Those resources are not free. We as a community have to provide those resources. So we are asking, please, if you cannot even share or donate, just share it. Share it. We all have free social media platforms. We can still share these websites on so we can create the funds. So courthouse need to be packed or not, we can provide the resources in our community. Roxanne, you want to piggyback off that real fast? We wrap this up.
Sure. So here it is. This is the thing. Freedom ain't free, but freedom is attainable. Everybody can do something, whether you can contribute monetarily, your time, your resources, do that, because everybody can do something. And what I would like to leave us tonight with is what you gonna do about what you heard this evening? What you gonna do about what you heard about the Kittling family? What you gonna do about what you heard, all of the different ways we can, there's court support coming. What you gonna do about it? Don't just hit a like button, do something. Do something, because that's what community does. We take care and we look out for each other. This has been Life After the Impact. Find out how you can get involved. Have a good evening.
Stay in the fight. I mean, it's tiring, it is, but you know what? I'm going to fight till I die, and that's it. I will never stop telling my son's story and what happened and the injustice that was served to him and his whole entire family and everybody else that deals with this. And be prepared to lose family members and friends, people that you thought were friends, because I'll tell you what, my circle was pretty decent size before this, and now, I mean, it's next to nothing. And that's okay, because I know who is real in my life. But it makes people uncomfortable that you're speaking out. Well, you know, if it happened to them, trust and believe they would be speaking out too.
It's like, you know, if you were the same person, you wouldn't just move forward with your life. It's not, people say all the time that this is a movement or whatever. No, it's a lifestyle. Like, we can't cut this off. Even if we wanted to, we can't cut it off. So this is like what we do every single day, whether we wanted to or not. So people expect you to kind of like just get over it and like move forward, or you should be doing something else at this point in time. It's like, no, because you was in the same shoes, I promise you, you were doing exactly what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, this is our life now. You know, our life changed, and there's no going back. So you'll never be that same person ever.
Ever.